Welcome back to a brand new episode as once again we visit two CX stores to see if we strike steel or strike out steelbook hunting in CEX. Hello again folks, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Steelbook Hunting in CEX. This series, it does exactly what it says in the title, and this time we are hitting up two brand new CEX stores. First off, we are heading to Wrexham, made famous recently by the frankly amazing series on Disney Plus, Made in Wrexham, starring Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. That's right, Deadpool owns a football club. Then we are heading to the oldest town in Wales, Bangor, hoping to find some bangers. Now for this episode, I actually went hunting for steelbooks in not two, but three CEX stores. But herein lies the problem. One of the stores I went to had no steelbooks. No steelbooks to be found, so I've cut that one out, but we still have two amazing stores to hit up. But before we do that, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, like this one, and I really want you folks along for the ride. Now, let's get hunting. We're starting off our steelbook hunt this time in the town of Wrexham, infamous from the brand new Disney series Made in Wrexham. And there's no Rob McElhenney or Ryan Reynolds here this time, just me hunting in CEX. And I'm starting off in the PlayStation 5 section. I just wanted to check there wasn't an AEW Fight Forever steelbook because I'm a massive AEW fan. And heading down here, this is sometimes why these games can be deceptive. So I thought this was going to be a steelbook, but unfortunately it was just a collector's edition of this game. Moving on from the PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 4, and it doesn't take long to find our first steelbook. This is Too Dark, and I have never heard of this game. I could not find this steelbook for sale anywhere online. I think this was a Kickstarter exclusive, definitely grabbing it. So that was a pretty strong start in the PlayStation 4 section, but it's a reasonably sizable section here, and I'm hoping we can find at least one other steelbook. Going through, I always look for some of the classics like Destiny. Unfortunately, there's nothing there. It's just some of these bigger franchises that normally have steelbooks, such as Final Fantasy. Now, I did pass on this one again, but please let me know in the comments down below. Is this a Final Fantasy game that's worth playing? I wasn't sure if this was online or a remake of an older game. I have not got the greatest knowledge of Final Fantasy, so let me know. Continuing on through the PlayStation 4, and so far I'm feeling pretty good. We've found one steelbook and one I've left behind, but there's still more PlayStation 4 to go through, but unfortunately there wasn't any other steelbooks, which is a shame, but one so far ain't too bad. So let's talk about the Wrexham CEX store. Overall, I would say it's a medium-sized store. It's not too big, it's not too small, but it does have a really good selection. And it had an especially good Xbox 360 section. Not the biggest Xbox 360 section I've ever seen, but in a world where the CX Xbox 360 sections are getting smaller and smaller, this was a good selection. So I had my fingers pretty well crossed to find a steelbook here. I did check for the Grand Theft Auto 5 one. I've been looking for that one for quite a long while, and unfortunately there wasn't any of the Halo steelbooks. It wasn't looking too great at this point. We were coming to the end of the Xbox 360 section, but it's always worth having a better look, like retracing the steps, really looking in depth, as the first time round I did very nearly miss a steelbook hiding at the back here. Not Under Defeat, an absolutely amazing game for the Xbox 360, but let me know if you've seen what the steelbook was that's hiding on a shelf. It was just in this middle section here. I think I got distracted, and all the way down here hiding is, it's coming. Very easy to miss this copy of Stranglehold. It's in reasonable condition. I think it's a passable 6 or 7 out of 10, and for £4 I'm going to pick this one up. It's embossed. It's a really cool steelbook, and I think for £4 for a console like the Xbox 360, which is getting harder to collect for, I think it's worth picking this up. I'm happy. Much like the Xbox 360 sections, in most, and I say most, CEX stores now, the PlayStation 3 section is getting smaller and smaller as we kind of see the PlayStation 4 section get bigger and bigger. I'm guessing less people are trading these games in, as it's less people probably who have their PlayStation 3 collections now. Anyone who's likely to trade it in probably would have traded it in a long while ago. That's why the PlayStation 4 section is getting bigger and bigger. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't any Steelbooks in this PlayStation 3 section. There was some good games, but nothing for us. Let's get it back to the Xbox side with the Xbox One section, and this wasn't the biggest Xbox One section of all time, so I wasn't really having too much faith we were going to find any Steelbooks here. Now, what is really useful in the comments down below, some people have been commenting Steelbooks you might not know, like I never knew there was an Evolve Steelbook. Somebody commented on one of my previous videos and told me to keep an eye out for it. That's a game that's like £1 or £2, and if I can find a Steelbook, that's a bargain. Same as the Forza series, because remember, with the majority of Steelbooks in CEX, they charge the same price for the Steelbook as they do the normal version of the game. That's why it is rarer to see these Steelbooks on the shelf, because people will exploit this and grab the Steelbooks. But then again, that is entirely what this series is about. Hunting in these CEX stores, looking for opportunities to get these Steelbooks literally for a steal. Unfortunately, there was nothing here this time in the Xbox One section, but it just makes it so much sweeter when you steal a Steelbook. When you find them hiding on the shelves, you know you have absolutely struck steel. But unfortunately, this time in the Xbox Series X and Xbox One section, we did strike out. But here is one Steelbook I've been on the lookout for, Resident Evil 4. But I'm also on the lookout for this, the lenticular cover. But let me know in the comments down below, do they do a lenticular Steelbook version of Resident Evil 4? For me, that is the best of both worlds and the one I want. So that was CEX in Wrexham, and we managed to find 2 Steelbooks. If you want a deeper look into the CEX store in Wrexham, make sure to check out my other series, The Crazy World of CEX. Next up, we are heading to Bangor, the oldest town in Wales, and hoping we can find some Steelbook bangers in Bangor. So size-wise, I would say, from my experience, this CEX store is on the smaller size. But one thing I've learned is you do not judge a CEX store by its size, you judge it by its stock. And let's start off in the Xbox 360 section. Now, nothing in the Call of Duty section, which is a disappointment. I think I'm missing 1, maybe 2 of the Call of Duty Steelbooks. But this proves what I was saying earlier. The Xbox 360 sections in CEX are getting smaller as the Xbox One and Xbox Series X sections get bigger. And I'm looking for some of the big hitters here, looking for the Forza games, the GTA games, the Gears of War, the Halo games, but unfortunately I'm seeing no Steelbooks here, which is a real disappointment. Even though we haven't found anything in the Xbox section, maybe we'll have some more luck in the PlayStation section. And let's start off here in the PlayStation 3 section. And again, this just proves what I was saying earlier. This PlayStation 3 section here is barely 2 shelves, and these aren't even that deep. I was very tempted to pick up this Lost Planet game, as this is one you don't see very often. But as it gets harder and harder to find PlayStation 3 games in CEX, this is the kind of game I'm going to be looking out for. The rarities, the heavy hitters, the games that are only going to get more expensive in the future. Sadly, I did pass on it today because it wasn't in the best condition, but they are the kind of games in 5-10 years time that are going to be hard to get hold of and expensive. So no luck in the PlayStation 3 section, let's try a luck in the PlayStation 5 section. Now I am keeping an eye out for the Back for Blood Steelbook, because that would be super cheap, and to be honest, I don't think there's been that many Steelbook games released for the PlayStation 5. Obviously there's some out there. I did think they'd done one for Street Fighter 6, but it's just this incredibly cool lenticular cover, which they had not 1, but 2 copies of. But this was a pretty small PlayStation 5 section, so let's go straight into the PlayStation 4 section. I think they've done a Battlefield Steelbook, but I've never seen that one, which again would be really good, as it'd be really cheap, and you can pick up some absolute bargains for the PlayStation 4. This is a console which is getting cheaper to collect for, but here is a Steelbook I've been looking for a long while. Hitman, the complete first season. I've seen this a couple of times. It's normally in really terrible condition, and right next to it, Rainbow Six Siege. And this is one that is fairly common, but it's so cheap I can't pass up. I did think for a moment we were going to score a hat-trick in Bangor, but this is in fact the Amazon exclusive version of Death Stranding. Very cool, but I did pass up because essentially it is just a slipcover. So we are coming to the end of the PlayStation 4 section, but I think we did pretty good today. I did check this entire section, and unsurprisingly, no Steelbooks. Let me know if you've ever had any luck finding Steelbooks in the PlayStation 2, 3DS or even the Wii U section. Now, let's take it back to the games room for the pickup. Here we are then, back in the games room after our Steelbook hunt in Wales. We managed to hit up 2 stores, and in each store we managed to find 2 Steelbooks, which is quite nice. And to be honest, I think it's pretty good going. At the end of the day, you have no guarantee how many, if any, Steelbooks there are going to be in any CEX store. So I think 2 per store is a bit of a win. And it's actually the first Steelbook which I consider the biggest win. It is this one, Too Dark for the PlayStation 4. Now, this is a game I've never heard of. It's a Steelbook I've never seen. It's a game I've never seen in CEX. And herein kind of lies the problem. I think when it comes to this Steelbook, it should actually be in a slipcase. But this is the thing. When Steelbooks get traded into CEX, it's literally the Steelbook. It might be missing the slipcover. It might be missing the box. They literally sell it as seen. But this is part of the gamble and kind of part of the fun, as it means I get to pick up games like this that I'd never normally pick up. And this one is super cool as well, because it does come with a soundtrack as well as a copy of the game. Now, I don't really know a lot about this one. I'm looking forward to jumping into it, but let me know in the comments down below if you've played Too Dark. The other Steelbook we found in Wrexham is Stranglehold for the Xbox 360. And here's the thing, with these Xbox 360 games, they are getting harder and harder to find. This one is in fairly good condition. It does have a little bit of damage on the front, but overall, I'm happy to pick this one up because these are the kind of games that are going to get harder to find. Once again, this is the collector's edition. It comes with the soundtrack and the game, and yeah, it's just a cool little special edition. And at the end of the day, if I can pick up a collector's edition for the Xbox 360 for £4, I consider that a win. Next up, we hit a banger, and yes, I did manage to find an absolute banger. This is a game I've been looking for a long while, Hitman the first season, and this is in really, really good condition. This is one I have seen a few times before, but normally it's in really rough shape. It's a slightly more expensive Steelbook at £12, but again, it's a really nice looking one. It has a little bit of inside print. It's good to get a copy of this game. If you haven't played it, this game must have some of the most imaginative kills of any game ever made. I'm really happy to add it to my PS4 collection. Our final Steelbook this time is a Steelbook which we have picked up in this series before, but this time we are picking it up for the PlayStation 4. It is Rainbow Six Siege, and this is the perfect example of the Steelbooks you want to be looking for in CX. This is just £4, and at the end of the day, the average price of a Steelbook on eBay tends to be between £5 and £10, so anything under a £5 for a Steelbook is an absolute, for lack of a better term, steal. Here it is then, folks. In this episode, we managed to add 4 brand new Steelbooks to the collection, and I would consider this a good day. At the end of the day, you can go into any given CEX, any given day of the week, and find absolutely nothing. So I think finding 2 Steelbooks in each store we visit this time is a bit of a win. There we have it then, folks. Another hunt is in the bag. But let me know in the comments down below, what is the best hidden gem Steelbook that you have ever found in CEX? Before today, I'd never heard about that game Too Dark, and now I have it in the collection. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and join me next time to find out if we strike out or strike steel, Steelbook hunting in CEX. See you all soon!